we're going to continue to chit chat about whatever you want to talk about. So if you have something you want to talk about, we can talk about it. Guitars, music, Asia, up to you. Let's see what everybody thinks. Hello, who's with us? Can you hear me okay? Can we get a mic check? Uh-huh. Got my buddy over there in the corner, Mr. Fender. If you want to join in and talk about it, we can. Tell me where you're from, where you're watching from, what country, what state, what province, what time it is, where you're at. Give me an idea what you want to talk about. If you have any questions, I maybe have some answers. I'm in Asia now. I've been in Asia for a while. I love Asia. What a place. Nobody will tell you that. Or somebody will tell you, but before nobody wanted to tell you. I wish somebody told me years ago. So everything's going pretty good. You know, my recovery is coming along. Let's see, I'm about 1 month and maybe 3/4, almost 2 months. It'll be 2 months on the 2nd. So, however long that is. But they say it's a 3 month period. And I still have some issues, although I've improved a lot. So I'm looking forward to improving some more, I can tell you. Some of the long-lasting side effects is horrendous. But I guess it's better than the alternative. I'm here to talk. That's the good news. So what do you guys want to talk about? Let's talk about some of you guys have some ideas. Throw something out there. Drop it in a comment. Let's chit chat about it. I mean, I know somebody has to have something to talk about. No? Yeah? Maybe? Can anybody hear me okay? Is the mic okay? Is the video all right? You can see my buddy there, Mr. Fender. You can hear old raspy voice me. There we go. What's going on, Gary? Where are you, Gary? Where are you watching from? What time is it where you're at? Well, 650 million comedians, so now it's 601 million, or 600 million in one. How about that? But okay, I'll buy that. At least you're talking. Well, I think we have 8 or 9 people watching, but it's okay if no one wants to watch. I appreciate you watching. That's a good thing. If you have some questions, I probably have the answers. If you don't have any questions, you could wait for somebody else. And then we could go from there. I mean, there ain't much to see, but I sure can talk a lot. Yeah, I stay by myself a lot. I like to be alone. And you don't have anybody bossing you around. You ain't got nobody telling you what to do. You don't have to worry about yourself. I'm used to it. I enjoy my alone time. Anybody else like being alone? I'm from Florida, from America, but I'm in Asia now. I've been here for almost a couple of years. Been all over. Yeah. I've been all over. It's beautiful. Dude, if you ain't ever been to Asia, you better get to packing. Oh, you're from the Philippines. Okay, good for you. Where at in the Philippines are you? Yeah, where are you from, Carrie? What part of the Philippines, I mean? You don't know? Hmm. How you don't know where you're at? Nope. I don't like to put my face on the camera because I need my camera. I don't want to break it. I'm just a regular guy. Yeah, nothing special. So I'm not going to break it. So you just don't want to tell where you are in the Philippines. That's cool too. No problem. At least you're in Asia. So you know that it's good. Where are you from originally, Gary? Okay, so now where are you? Jokester. Looks like from your name it looks like you may be from America. I don't know for sure. Well, okay. Oh, how old are you, Gary? Of course, I didn't. How do you think? How do you think I got here if I didn't have a family? Oh, yeah, you're pretty smart for a 9-year-old then. Do you play the guitar, Gary? At 9 years old, I hope you do, because that's a great start. You know, I started playing when I was 12. Yeah, I'm always careful there, Gary. So, I started playing the guitar when I was about 12 years old. And if you start now when you're 10 or 12 years old, okay, I'll see you, Gary. Bye bye. But I was trying to tell you that the advantage to playing the guitar at a young age now, as opposed to when I started playing the guitar at 12 years old, is YouTube. There was no such thing. And man, I think you can learn beyond learn with YouTube now. You could learn in a month what it might have took a year or two before. Just, I mean, when I learned just from listening, you know, playing by ear. I would hear something, then I would play it a million times, and nobody would show me anything, and I couldn't see it. I had to figure it out. That wasn't easy, not compared to nowadays. You know, nowadays you want to learn something, I could go learn something in 20 minutes, you know? Okay, so Gary went to bed because he's 9 and he's tired probably. I understand. But who else is here? Come on, speak up. What do you want to talk about? I'm trying to talk about the guitar, but I think I'm swimming in a circle like a one-legged duck because nobody wants to talk about it. So we'll talk about something else. Oh, okay, you're back now. Well, what do you want to talk about there, Gary? I'll wait. I got plenty of time. Take your time. You know, my favorite food? I love Italian food. If I could eat Italian food every day, I would. I love lasagna. Today I had baked ziti. It was pretty good. I love Italian food like Chinese people love Chinese food or Thai people love Thai food. Yeah. But I'll tell you, Thai food is pretty good if you like spicy. I like spicy, but I can't eat spicy because I got a problem. You know, I have a medical condition that says if you eat spicy, you're going to choke. I eat a lot of chicken now. You know, chicken in Asia is pretty popular and it's pretty good. You know, that's something that Asia has definitely conquered, and that's how to make chicken. And the chicken here, to be honest with you, is much better than the West because it's all real. It's all natural. You know, it's not all pumped up with antibiotics and whatever other kind of shit they put in them. Okay, Gary, good night. I'll see you on the flip side. Who else is with us? Any other kids? Any adults? How many men? All men? Any women? How old are we? What the hell? What the hell? Well, we're just trying to have a little chit chat for anybody who's just joining us. We're trying to talk about anything. Just throw something out there and we'll try to bounce off of it and roll on. See what you think of it. Just conversation. We can have good conversation if somebody participates. Imagine if I can talk with nobody talking, how can I talk if somebody talks? Oh my God. Okay, so let's talk about Asia. If you're not in Asia, pack your bags. Come on. Because you ain't been nowhere if you ain't been here. I can tell you that now. I don't care where else you've been. You've been to the Caribbean, you've been to South America, you've been to Mexico, I don't know where else you've been. You've been to even Europe. You've been to any of those countries, you ain't been nowhere. And not until you've been here. I love Asia. The people are so nice. Yeah. It's safe. It's great. Let me tell you something. I'm going to tell you this, I've told you before, but I'm going to tell you again in case there's new people watching. They have the market cornered on 7-Eleven in Thailand. If you've ever been to a 7-Eleven in Thailand, then you know what I'm talking about. Yep. Ding dong, welcome. That's what you get when you walk in the door. And man, they have everything you need, and it's all reasonably priced. They don't rip your face off, like in the West. In the West, man, they get you. You're going to pay 5 times more than you're going to pay at the grocery store just for the convenience of being able to stop at the 7-Eleven. Well, let me tell you. In Thailand, there's a 7-Eleven almost on every corner, every block. And they have everything, and it's all cheap, reasonably priced. No different than the grocery store. It ain't 10 times more just because it's convenient. And let me tell you this, believe it or not. You go to a 7-Eleven in the West, and you walk in the store, maybe there's 1 or 2 people, every once in a while, 3 or 4 people, this or that, blah, blah, blah. Every 7-Eleven you walk into is crowded in Thailand, non-stop and around the clock. There's more people, and they got so many 7-Elevens, you wonder how the hell are they doing that? People love the 7-Eleven in Thailand, and I don't blame them. I love it too. It's the greatest thing since sliced bread. That's a fact. But if you haven't been to Asia, get to packing. That's right. Because, believe me, if you come to Asia, you will love it. It's inexpensive. it's just so different. It's not like the West. It's not spread out. Everything is close. You know, you can walk to many, many places, and you don't have to worry about driving 20 minutes to get to Walmart. You know what I mean? It's right down the street. It's not a Walmart, but it's a similar store. And they have everything. They're not out of stock. Don't think they don't have things. The shelves in the stores here are chocked full of merchandise of every kind. And whatever you want, you can get. I was in one today, something plaza, whatever it was. Man, I'm telling you, they had stuff stacked up to the ceiling. Good stuff. And they had people on top of people shopping. You know, not onesie twosies. I mean, they were just lined up. So many people you had to duck and dodge just to get around. But I like it that way. You know, you walk out that door and you walk right next door and there's something else. And then something else. And then here's the thing. If you like fried chicken, I'm going to tell you, Asia makes the best fried chicken on the planet. I'll say it again. Asia makes the best fried chicken on the planet. Hello, Eastborg. How are you? Where are you from? Where are you at? How old are you? Oh. Yeah, I love me some fried chicken in Asia. I eat too much. That's the problem. Eat too much of the chicken. And you know, I'll tell you what else is good. Pork. Oh, they make pork so good. And it's all, again, the same thing. It's all how they raise the pig. Now, I'm going to tell you this. The beef, not good. Yeah. And that's a shame because I love beef. But it is what it is. Now, I'll tell you something else. The fruit, oh, incredible. When you taste the fruit here, you say to yourself, what the hell are they doing to the fruit in the West? Even though they're importing some of it, you know, from South America and, you know, wherever else. I know they import bananas from the Philippines, but I'm here to tell you, in Thailand, they have the best fruit. I mean, it's just powerful tasting. It's hard to explain how good it is in comparison to what you buy in the West. And it's not expensive. You know, I'll give you a good example. You buy a piece of dragon fruit in the West, it costs you $5 American for one piece. And you could probably buy, for $5 American, you might be able to buy 10 pieces in Asia. That's a big deal, dude, if you think about it. And it isn't just those, it's everything. Now, I'm going to give you a good one. You want to buy cherries in Asia that come from America? Oh, let me see. I saw some yesterday. They cost $3 for 10 cherries. I saw that in the store yesterday. I had to laugh. $3 American for 10 cherries. Yeah. And when I was in Vietnam, they had, I don't know, maybe a pound of cherries. I don't know if it was a pound or not, but it was just one little container. It wasn't really very big. $20. 20 American dollars. I mean, that's just crazy. So, I don't know what they're doing in that regard, but I ain't buying cherries in Asia, I can assure you of that. And strawberries are expensive too, but I don't know why, because they grow them like crazy in Vietnam. You know, there's a place in Vietnam, it's incredibly beautiful. It's called Da Lat. And it's springtime weather all year round. And there's more flowers grown there than I've ever seen in my entire life. And it's like the capital of where they grow strawberries. And they grow all the vegetables, and they sell them to the market people that, I mean, they just ship them everywhere. And it's just like a production spot, but it's called the Lot, Vietnam. It's very nice. The food is good. Uh, the people are nice. The weather is great. It's kind of in the mountains, away from the coast and into the mountains. I guess it would be considered, hmm, I'm not sure, maybe west of Da Nang, maybe. But I spent a month there. Man, I enjoyed that. It was incredible. I'll probably go back. But I mean, it was night and day when you left the coast and it was scorching hot and you landed in Dalat and it was springtime. And it stays that way all year round. And it's a big university town. A lot of young people, a lot of good cheap restaurants with good clean food. Yeah, big difference, I can tell you. You know, I don't I don't call it street food. It's not coming from the cart, the street cart, but it's coming from the little, mom and pop type restaurants. But boy, is night and day about how good it is in comparison. Yeah, I was really surprised. And the people are so nice. I enjoyed my stay there. I stayed a month. I'll probably go back. Huh. They got an underground mall there, which is pretty cool. It's got a like a big dome coming up out of the ground, and then you go down and down and down the escalators, down, down, and it's all underground. It's a big shopping mall. They got everything, but it's just kind of cool that it's underground. Never seen anything like that before. And they have a big lake right in the center of town that you can rent paddle boats and, pedal boats, whatever, and pedal around the lake. And they got restaurants on the lake. They got a big, huge market. They got everything in that market. And it's all good. Quality, homegrown, freshly grown right there. Now, I drove my motorbike up deep into the mountains, into the fields where the strawberries were grown to buy some freshly picked strawberries. And man, I'll tell you what, they ain't no cheaper, but they sure are better. They're good. When they're just freshly picked and ripe, oh boy, they good. They give you this dipping sauce. I'm not sure what it is. It's maybe coconut milk or something. I think maybe it's warm coconut milk for dipping the strawberries. It's pretty good. I can tell you that. And it's funny because Thailand does that too with mango. Oh, the mangoes in Thailand, they're so good. The yellow ones, man, they're incredible. You buy mango and sticky rice, and then they give you this white kind of coconut milk. I guess it's kind of creamy, but you dunk it in there and you eat the mangoes, and it's the combination that makes it so good. If you haven't tried it, you need to try it. Of course, first you got to get to Asia. And if you haven't been to Asia, get to packing. For whoever didn't hear that before, I'm telling you again, if you didn't come to Asia yet, get to packing. Because I wish I came to Asia years ago. If I could do it all over again, that's exactly what I would do. And years ago, it was even cheaper. Everything was much less expensive, but the quality wasn't different. They still made their own stuff. They still fried those chickens that were all organic and original and not pumped up with steroids and antibiotics. They still grew the same vegetables. Yeah. but it was cheaper. But it's still cheap. It's probably, everything is probably at least 5 times cheaper here than it is in the West. So you figure it out, what you have living in the West, and then bring it over here to Asia, and then you'll know what kind of lifestyle you can live for real that you can't live very good on in the West. And that's a fact. And I think that the West is the people that are wrong. I think they're the ones that are greedy and overcharging people, and there's no need. You know, it's funny because everybody cries and cries and cries, and then you watch the news and they report their quarterly earnings, and you find out that they're making money hand over fist. So you tell me why they gotta jack all them prices up so high over there. They don't have to. You know, they've created a false market. You know, if the people were smart, they'd go on strike. Yeah, you'll see how quick they'll get them prices back in line, because they're out of whack now. They're so far out of whack, that's, you can't even stand it. And then, you know, here's the thing. They let some of these business people get away with it like there's no tomorrow without regulation. You know, I'll give you who I'm talking about is the dentistry. You go to America and get some dental work done, and you'll find out what they'll do to you. They'll rob you blind. Yep. There ain't no reason why the dental work got to cost so much in America, or for that matter, any of the medical, and it could cost 5 times less and be the same quality in Asia, in China, in Thailand. Don't think it ain't good, because it's good, and maybe better in some instances. And here's the other thing, you know, they straight talk. They don't beat around the bush. They don't lie. They don't uh, milk you. They don't drag you along primrose path to try to get everything they can get before they drop you off the bridge. In Asia, they don't. They're straightforward. They tell you what's the problem. They tell you how much it costs. They tell you what it takes to fix it, and then they get to getting. Not in America. Don't do that. They frustrate the shit out of you. You kidding me? I've been to the doctors probably 1,000 times in America. And out of those 1,000 times, I've been angry every single time. Now, I've been to the doctor in Asia, in Thailand, a few times. And every single time I've gone, I've loved it. I've been happy, I've been satisfied, even though I've had to pay. And I paid big because I had big problems. I mean, it's big, but it's not as big as it would be in America. But it's still a lot. Like, you would think you'd be angry because you had to pay so much, but you're not angry because you were treated so well. Yeah, that's a fact. So, I'll say it again. If you haven't been to Asia, get to packing. And if you have a question, go ahead and type it in there. If you type a question in there, you'll give me something to talk about. Then I can go off on a tangent. Otherwise, I just got to make up my own stuff. Which is okay too. I don't mind. What time is it? Oh, it's late. Here it's late, but I guess it's early in the West. I don't know where everybody's from because they won't tell. It's a secret. Everybody's keeping it a secret. That's okay. No problem. No worries here. We're just going to keep on keeping on. So, I'll tell you what I'm doing now. I'm learning a new song on the guitar because it's one of the Asian people's favorites. And they always ask me, and I should have known how to play it before, I just never learned it, but now I'm learning it. It's pretty easy. But I'm not going to tell you what it is. I'm keeping it a secret, same as you. But I still learn, you know, every day. I'll tell you what, I went out and played, I don't know, a couple of hours. I guess it was a couple of days ago. And I played out on the boardwalk where there was many, many people. And I drew a crowd. Yeah, they gathered around. They loved it. I probably played, I don't know how long, a couple of hours. Yep, I played nonstop. I had a blast. I'm going to do it again. Maybe, I don't know if I'll do it tomorrow or not. But I might. If it don't rain. Can't play in the rain. Oh, that sounds like the title of a song. Can't play in the rain. Who's that by? Can't play in the rain. I don't know. If I knew, I'd make a video about it. By the way, speaking of videos, if you guys didn't watch all my other videos and comment and like and subscribe and all that stuff, don't forget to do that now. Even if you don't like them. Some of them are pretty good. If you play the guitar, they're pretty informative, quick, easy. You know, not a whole lot of red tape. Pretty simple to get a little starter, or it's great for beginners. There's some on there is a little more complicated, but mostly it's for beginners. And I have a few travel type videos, stuff like that. Some's interesting, some maybe not so interesting, but they're watchable. I mean, if you didn't watch them, at least you should do is watch them. Why not? What's the worst that could happen? You watch them, you comment, you subscribe, it all helps the channel. I'm trying to get monetized. I'm actually on track. I'm doing pretty good considering. I should probably work harder at it. But it is what it is. You guys can help me if you want. You gotta hit the like button, you gotta hit the subscribe button, and you gotta watch my videos. If you want to help, that's how you can. Then after I get monetized, I'm going to shift gears a little bit. I think I'm going to start making a little bit more quality videos, a little longer videos, maybe a little more interesting videos, maybe a little bit more attention to production and that type of thing. That's coming soon. And I drink so much water, I can hardly stand it. You know, some of the side effects from my treatment are horrendous. And one of them is the cotton mouth. Man, I get the cotton mouth so bad. I have to keep a bottle of water with me at all times and keep sipping, 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 sipping. They say it gets better, but it takes a long time, sometimes maybe 2 years. It could be faster, but I'm hoping it's faster. But we'll see. I don't know. I'm just happy that it's working. You know, I can at least feel the progress, which is a good thing. I'll tell you a little funny story. I was talking to somebody, I guess it was a couple of weeks ago, and because, you know, my voice is raspy because I had some pretty serious treatment. I had 2 solid months worth of radiation, and that don't sit well with your throat and your voice and all that. Anyway, this particular person, thought it would be funny to mock me, you know, make fun of my voice. And it was in front of a lot of people. And so I said, "Oh, you didn't know, but I have throat cancer. But what's wrong with your voice?" And let me tell you, that person shrunk into a midget right then and there on the spot. Can you just imagine making fun of somebody and then finding out, oh, it's not just because. But it is what it is. I'm coming along pretty good. I'll tell you, the actual treatment wasn't bad. The treatment itself was easy. It was many, many treatments every day for 2 months. Crazy, oh my God. But it didn't hurt. You know, it was easy. But slowly those effects grow on you until they become unbearable. Yeah. And I'm going to tell you how unbearable it is. You think about this for just 1 minute. Could you imagine that you can't eat because you can't swallow? And when you do swallow, it hurts so bad, it's almost like you swallowed a handful of razor blades? Think about that for about 10 minutes, and then let me know how you'd feel about it. Because that's what it was like. Because radiation, when they blast you with radiation, you know, it's like sunburn on the inside of your throat and your mouth and your tongue and your cheeks and your gums and all your tonsils and everything that's inside your throat that you use to swallow now becomes the worst sunburn that you've ever had, to the point where it's peeling. Yeah. Then that's got to heal. I mean, that's part of the process. That's what happens. You have to endure it. You can take medication to help you along, you know, if you want. But you have to endure it. And then here's the thing, check this out. You have to eat nutritious food, otherwise you cannot heal. Because without the proper nutrition, the healing don't happen. So you got to force yourself to eat, to eat, to eat. You have to have protein. You have to figure out what you can and can't eat, because there's many things that you can't get down. You know, you need to eat soft items. Even protein drinks like shakes and stuff like high protein and stuff like that because you, you can't, and you want to not eat, but you can't not eat. You have to force yourself to eat because if you give up on eating, then you lose weight, you lose all your protein, then you don't heal, then you have bigger problems. So what they do, if you fall into that category, which I didn't, luckily for me, but they'll put a tube in you and force feed you through a feeding tube to make sure that you're getting the nutrition that you need in order to heal. Yeah. So, my treatment was actually pretty good. I'll tell you something that is pretty interesting, actually. My doctor friend, who's a retired specialist from Germany, told me about this drug called ivermectin. And it's a little bit expensive here, but it's cheap in India if you can get it from there. But he told me, he said, when you go for your treatment, don't take chemotherapy. He said, don't do it. He said, take this instead. Do the radiation treatment and take this ivermectin instead. And the reason is because he told me that there was only a 5%, increase in your progress with the treatment because of the chemotherapy. And it's very expensive on top of that. I mean, like, horrendously expensive. You know, it's poison. It's made from mustard gas. That's what they tell me. And they say that the side effects are horrible, and although it gives you a little bit of an edge in the beginning, the long-term effects are horrible. So he advised me, he said, don't take that. And I didn't. I listened to him, I didn't take it. So I took the radiation and I took the ivermectin, and everything seems to be going pretty good because, you know, the radiation accounts for like 85% of your cure. 85%. Chemotherapy is 5% of it. And they equally cost about the same, which is a lot. But the radiation, even though the side effects are painful and not, you don't want them and you don't wish it on nobody, but it don't make you sick. I mean, I guess it could some people, but it didn't make me sick. But chemotherapy will make you sick. Yeah. So pass for me. I'm out. I'm not doing it. But my friend was very, good. He's knowledgeable. He was a specialist, as a matter of fact. He was an ear, nose, and throat specialist from Germany. And smart. Man, that dude was so smart. And he's old now. He's retired. I think he misses doctoring. So he was happy to share with me his knowledge, which I'm grateful for, because he didn't have no skin in the game. He could tell me like it was. He didn't have to worry about, I have to tell him, I have to tell him what makes us money. He didn't have to tell me that, but the doctors in the hospital do. Yeah. It's funny too, because he told me, he said, if you could get an honest answer, he said, if you could get an honest answer from the doctors and you asked if you asked the doctors if they would take chemotherapy, he said 90% of them, if they told you the truth, he said 90% of them would say no. He said, but they can't because the money. It's huge. They've been treating people for years. I mean, that's the only reason they're not curing it. They're making it treatable. They're not making it curable. Although, even though mine was treatable, mine was curable because I had that particular type. There's many, many types. Mine is a curable type, which is a good thing. But, okay. I'm getting better. I never was sick. I never really. I mean, the only issue I had was I didn't really want to eat, but I knew I had to eat, but I didn't enjoy eating. I miss eating. I want to eat. And now everything tastes very weird. I'm starting to get my taste back a little bit, but for, I don't know, a couple of months I had zero taste. I mean, if you ate buttered popcorn, it tasted like sawdust. Yep. Well, I'm starting to get it back, but I get a weird taste. I don't know how to, it's hard to explain. It's like a sour metal taste. Constant, nonstop. But it's improving a little teeny bit every day, which is good. Like, I'll give you a good example. Oh, I would say right after the end of my treatment, I drank a Coke. I drank a Coke. And man, it was like drinking, I don't even know, sassafras juice or something. I mean, I don't even know if that's accurate, but it was like drinking fuel. It was so horrible. Now, I've drank a Coke recently, and I can taste it a little bit, and it's not as horrible by far, but it's not good. But it definitely shows me, the sign of improvement. So I'm happy with that now. And I was lucky because it didn't affect really my voice box. Even though right now, I got that raspy voice. I always had a little raspy voice, but I've learned how to sing over the years. And I'm not the best, but I'm not the worst. I can sing in key, I can stay in tune, and many people like it. But they told me that I was lucky because, some people, they if they sing, they can't never sing again when they go through the treatment that I went through. Now, I'll give you a good example. Some people, they have to get their whole tongue cut out. And I'm going to tell you who had that happen to them. Eddie Van Halen. Yep. He had it, and they cut his tongue out. You imagine that? My God. I'm not sure they cut the whole thing out, but I know they cut a big chunk of it out. And some people, they got to take the whole thing out. And then you can't talk, let alone sing. But, it all beats the alternative. You know what the alternative is? Pushing up daisies. When you're young, you're bulletproof. And then when you're old, you're subject to all these problems that want to sneak up and grab a hold of you and not only torture you, but cost you all your money. Yeah. One after another. I mean, some people are really riddled with medical issues, and some people are lucky. I've been fortunate within reason. Up until now, I haven't really had any major problems, but, I'm getting older now, and so everything probably catching up to me. All my ways of medication that I've taken all my life, my eating habits. And I haven't been a big drinker. It's not like I've been a boozer. I mean, I drank a little bit, but not, I'm not an alcoholic or a booze hag or anything like that. I don't even really drink, very little, which they say is, they say it's not good for my condition, but it seems like the people that drink and marinate their gizzard and liver and kidney, well, not gizzard, I'm kidding, but it seems like those people, they seem to get along pretty good. I see them here stumbling around at the ripe old age of who knows. They look like they're 100. But, they're still kicking. So who's to say who's right, who's wrong? I did smoke, but I quit like 30 years ago. I haven't had a cigarette at least about 30 years. And they say that if you quit smoking about 7 years after, that your lungs kind of regenerate and it becomes the same as if you never smoked after you quit for 7 years. Now, I've been quit for 30. And I don't really have any issues with breathing, thank God, because that's scary and dangerous. My brother has that problem. He has COPD and emphysema, and it's scary to see some of the times he goes through some fits and he can't breathe. When you can't breathe, you panic. That's not good. I breathe pretty good. But it is what it is. Ain't none of us getting out of here alive. We're just all visitors on this planet. So somebody get me off this subject by asking me a question that we can move on and I can talk about something else. It's simple to do. Just type a question in and I'll take the ball and run with it. Anybody interested? No? Okay, no problem. I could talk about just about anything. Let's talk about the Asian. Let's talk about the Asian girls. I would say this: in Asia, it seems like, even though my friend showed me that chat robot AI thing that said they were equal or close to equal, but I say not by my observation. It seems to me that the girls are 10-1 outnumbering the men or the boys or the males or whatever you want to call them. And it's either that or the men are just staying home. And the guys are just staying home. They're not coming out. Because I see it. I'm telling you. It's like, not the same, and not the same as the West. How many people you just, oh my God, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one, there's one. And you can just count them down everywhere. How many females as opposed to males are in Asia? Thailand, I'm sure China. I haven't been there, but I had a Chinese girlfriend one time for a long time, so I learned a lot about China. I think about 6 years. I had an authentic Chinese girlfriend that was actually from China and moved to America and became an American citizen. And she taught me a lot about China. I'll give you one instance. she owned a Chinese restaurant in America. And she told me that they make the Chinese food in America specifically for Americans. It's not really Chinese food. She said it's not the same as the Chinese food in China. And you know, the fact of the matter is, it's not. And I'll tell you what else ain't. Thai food. You go to a Thai restaurant in America and order Thai food, and it isn't the same. You go to Thailand and order Thai food, it's different. Because the American people like specific types of things, like brown sauces, thick sauces, you know, a different texture and a different taste. And in Asia, they like clear and thin and clean and sweet and sour and salty, all mixed together. It's different. But doesn't mean it's not good, because it is good. But I do like the American style because I was raised on that. And I guess if whatever you're raised on is what you like. Okay, so we've been on for an hour. We have a few people watching, coming and going. We can't get up a lot of people. I don't know why. Maybe it's just not that interesting. But it could be interesting if some people would ask some good questions. You might get surprised. I don't know. I'll tell you this. They have McDonald's in Asia. And the McDonald's in Asia is similar to the West, but it's not the same. It's different. Oh, they have Kentucky Fried Chicken too. And they have Burger King. But it's all a little bit different. And I don't know why. I really don't. I can't tell you the reason behind that, because you would think that because it's a franchise, that it would all come from a hub, centrally located hub, all the ingredients. But I'm sure that they have separate hubs for Asia versus the West, and maybe even the UK or wherever else they have those fast food joints. But it's not the same, and I don't know why. But it's okay. I mean, I eat it sometimes. I like their breakfast. Their breakfast is okay. Now, that's really, really similar. The pancakes and eggs and sausage breakfast, that's really, really the most, I think, similar to the West. The burger, not so much. Maybe the fish fillet sandwich is similar. French fries may be similar. Pretty similar, pretty close. But I like Western food, although I've been eating authentic food lately. It's a whole lot less expensive here to eat the authentic food. If you eat imported food, it's crazy money. I mean, crazy money. Let me tell you, I think a top of the line steak at Longhorn Steakhouse in Thailand could cost as much as 60 American dollars. And that same steak in Argentina maybe cost $8, according to my friend who lived there and loves it and ate it right regular. And I understand that they're the beef. I think they're the beef capital of the world now. But I love good beef. Now they do have Wagyu beef, but Wagyu beef is not cheap. And they have stores that sell nothing but West food, like a grocery store. And I'm going to give you a good example. This is no lie. I guess it was yesterday. I was in the Western food store here with my friend. And I looked at a box of cereal. You ready? You're not going to believe this, but it's true. A box of cereal. Now it comes with 2 bags. It's a double bag box. But it's $20 a box, American money, for cereal. Imagine that. I'm talking about honey bunches of oats, or, if you like Lucky Charms, or, any of that Western imported cereal. 20 American dollars per box. Now, in America, that same box costs about $6. So go figure. That's an example of buying something imported. Same with the medication. I priced a drug that they had available for, in case you get COVID, called Paxlovid. And the only place you could buy it is at the hospital. And then the hospital prices are a little bit higher than the pharmacies, but none of the pharmacies could sell it. But if you bought it at the hospital, it cost you about $800 or $900 a box. And the box lasts you about a week. How we doing? So let's see. I was at that Western grocery store, and I almost fell out of my shoes when I saw the price of the box of cereal. That was the worst. That was the biggest, worst discrepancy of any that I've seen, to be honest. $20 for a box of cereal, my God. But there was others that were crazy. That's where I saw the cherries, for 10 cherries for $3. 10 cherries in a packet for $3. And strawberries were the same thing. Let me think. I don't know, maybe you got 8 or 10 strawberries for about the same, $3, $4. Crazy. I mean, I guess if you had to have them and you had the money, you'd buy them, but I wouldn't buy them. Oh, I'll tell you something else that's weird here in Asia. I don't know if it's just you got to get used to it. I don't know if it has to do with the processing of the pasteurization, but milk is not the same. And I don't know why. milk in the West, and especially in America, to me, is good. But in Asia, I don't buy it. I don't like it. I have had it. I mean, sometimes I can suffer through it a little bit, but something weird about it. I don't understand. I think it has to do with how they pasteurize it. I don't know what they actually do to do that, but whatever they do, it's not the same. So I got that going for me. Let's see, what else? The cost of accommodations in Asia is very reasonable. Not like the West. You know, they have that housing boom that has just run people, crazy. You know, the rent and the mortgages and the prices of real estate in America is cuckoo. And here in Asia, man, you get a big bang for your buck, I can tell you. I found a place, and I'm not kidding, I found a place that I can rent with an ocean view on the 24th floor of a condo that's reasonably new, 4 or 5 years old. Beautiful. Now it's a little bit small because they're smaller, here than they are over there, but let's take that out of the equation because it's still accommodating. It's got a kitchen, it's got a bathroom, it's got a dining room, it's got a bedroom, it's got a balcony, it's got a washer and dryer. It's still, very accommodating. And the hotel amenities or the condominium amenities are incredible. Top notch. 5-star. Swimming pool, gym, everything. Like I said, a view of the ocean from the 24th floor. Panoramic. Yeah. $275 a month. American money. Now, you have to sign a lease to get it for that. For 6 months, it's a little bit more, and 12 months is $275. 6 months is probably $350, but that's still incredible. And even 1 month, it's probably $500, $550, if you just did a 1 month with no lease, month to month. But $275. Now that same condo on the beach in Florida with the same ocean view, a little bit bigger, I would say probably twice as big, space-wise, inside, square foot, they call it square meters here. That probably cost you $4,000 or $5,000 American a month. How can you put that in your pipe and smoke it? Because that's a fact. There's no mystery. But I've been renting month to month. I did sign one lease for cheap. I had a beautiful condo. You could walk 1 block and be on the most beautiful beach you ever been on. You didn't have a view of the beach, but it was on the 7th floor. It was a reasonably new condo. It had 24-hour security, and it was similar to what I just explained to you. And it was $220 a month for a 6-month lease. Imagine that. In America, that same spot's $3,000-4,000 a month. 1 block from the beach. I'm telling you true. If you don't believe me, Google it. They'll tell you. What is that? Chat GTB or whatever that's called? Man, that thing will tell you in about 10 seconds. Just type it in and it'll spit the answer right back out to you. I don't know what this world's coming to with the AI, but my goodness. Indonesia. Mark Ga Pepe. How you doing, buddy? From Indonesia. Indonesia, I hear, is nice. My friend's been there. He tells me all about it. He had a beautiful girlfriend there that he liked more than any other girlfriend that he had for a long, long time. He's been ranted and raved over her. So I know that they treat you well. They're very good wives. They're very good keepers. They're very loyal. I think overall that could be on a bucket list. That could be a good place to retire. I think it's inexpensive, and I think it's good. Now, I've been to Cambodia, which is cheap, but the problem with Cambodia is their infrastructure is not even close to Thailand. Thailand's got the best infrastructure on the planet for some place that's inexpensive to live. Man, Bangkok is off the hook. I love Bangkok. I stayed in Bangkok. That's where I got my treatment. You know, I stayed there in a condo. I rented a condo, a beautiful condo. Yeah. It's weird, you know, they had a big old earthquake there, and those buildings didn't fall down. They got damaged a little bit, but I stayed in one of the damaged ones. I stayed on the 20th floor, and I had earthquake damage, cracks. There was cracks in the walls, and some of the elevators weren't working, and they were constantly working on it. They were trying to repair it, but they didn't fall down. They weathered the storm. You know, I think those contractors build those buildings to withstand that. But aside from that, Bangkok is a great place. Beautiful. I love it. The only thing about Bangkok, there's two things that I don't like. One is the traffic. Oh, three things, my bad. One is the traffic. Two is the heat. It's hot. And then number three is there's a little bit of air pollution that gets pretty bad sometimes, and I can't tolerate that. You know, I got to live by the ocean where the air is nice and clean and crisp. The breeze comes off the ocean, and yeah, that I have to do. But I love Bangkok. I've been there many times. They have the best food. They have the best food in Bangkok than anywhere else that you go to travel in Thailand is in Bangkok. Now, Bangkok is a little bit more expensive. You know, you go remote. If you went to Bangkok and then you went to a remote rural area of Thailand, it's probably half the price, the cost of living, half, 50%. And if you go to a reasonably decent place that's not so rural but small, like down to the coast, to the beach, something like that, it's probably 30% cheaper. But it's beautiful. I mean, I happen to like the beach. Or the mountains, the same. You could go the opposite direction and you could go to the mountains to Chiang Mai City. It's beautiful there. You got to avoid the burning season, and then it's all good. I think they burn for a couple of months every year. And what a lot of people do is they live there, and when the burning season comes, they jump on a plane, they go to Vietnam and vacation for 2 months. Then they come back. And that's how their retirement goes. Which isn't such a bad gig. I've been there too. Chiang Mai a few times. I've stayed for months. I stayed there for 3 months, and then 3 months again. Yeah. It's beautiful there in the mountains. If you've never been to the mountains in Thailand, guess what? You better get to packing because it's pretty incredible. And they got temples in the mountains that are so beautiful. It's just unbelievable to see and to take in. And you know they're Buddhist. It's all Buddhism. And it's funny because they go to the temple and they pray and they make merit. And then when they get up from praying, they turn around, the temple's selling them lottery tickets. How about that? I thought that was pretty funny. But that's their culture. I respect it. I like it, actually. I go to temples a lot. Yeah, I've been to many, many temples. Probably, I don't know, 50, maybe more. Now in Vietnam they have them, but they call them something different. Not sure what it is. I can't remember, but I've been to them. They're not as nice as Thailand's. Thailand's is incredible. You know, Thailand has like a thing about niceness over the rest of Asia. Maybe the only other one could be like Hong Kong or China. Maybe Taiwan could be up there. You know, South Korea maybe, and possibly Japan could possibly be in the running with Thailand as far as the infrastructure and the niceness and the quality and, you know, the food and all the good stuff. But not the prices. Because I want to tell you, Japan, expensive. Taiwan, expensive. Hong Kong, expensive. Now, I'm not sure about Korea, but I like Korean food. Yeah, Korean food's pretty good. It doesn't seem to be too expensive in Thailand. You can you can eat Korean food in Thailand cheap, and in Vietnam even cheaper. Yeah, Vietnam is very inexpensive compared to Thailand. I would say 30% cheaper than Thailand. Pretty much on just about everything, from alcohol to fast food to, you know, rental, hotels. Man, I stayed in a hotel in Da Nang, Vietnam, 1 block away from the beach, reasonably new, very, very, very clean, modern, safe, and it was just absolutely incredible. The only thing was it was a little bit small, but small is okay. You still had everything you needed to do what you needed to do. And do you know how much it cost for a night in that hotel? Well, I'm going to tell you. That same hotel in America would be $150 American money per night. And that hotel I stayed in Da Nang, comparable, was $15 a night. How about them apples? Is that a bargain or what? How you doing? That's a bargain. Minimum 150 in America. Maybe more, 200. Now, if you want to pay up, I'll give you an example. They have a couple incredible places in Thailand that in America would cost you maybe 500 or 600 a night for 250. Like the Hilton and another Centera. There's a couple, I made some videos you could go watch on those two. You can go see. Beautiful. I got views from the top. I got view of the room. I got view of the grounds. Everything. And The Centera one's like $150 a night. In America, it's 500 all day. And the Hilton was $250 a night. And that's 600 all day long in America for that on the ocean. Go watch the videos, you'll see. I got them in there. Just scroll through there and find them. Then you'll know what I'm talking about. I mean, a $15 or $20 hotel is unheard of in America. You can't stay nowhere for $15 or $20 in America, period. This hotel I'm in right now is $25. And it's brand new. Incredible. A little bit small, but that's okay. Air conditioning's good, shower's good, hot water's good, water pressure's good. It's clean, there's no ants, there's no bugs. They give me room service every day. I mean, they give me free water every day, bottled water, coffee every day, free breakfast in the morning on top of it all every day. I'm not joking. Yeah, I'm not joking. I'm on a little mini vacation right now, and then I'm trying to decide about if I want me a cheaper, longer term condo like the one I found in Hua Hin, Thailand. I really like it, but I don't want to make that commitment. But maybe I'll just pay more and do a month to month because that's still reasonable. But what's going on in Indonesia? You still with us there, Mark Gah? You still here? Somebody tell me what you're thinking. There's some people in here. I'm doing all the chit chatting. Come on, guys, help me out. What's the deal? I'm starting to get sleepy. I need a little help. Help me out. Type me some questions. Give me some ideas. Something. You can do it. It's easy. Just tell me what you want to know about. Want to know about the tuk-tuks? Oh, three-wheeled taxi? Well, I'll tell you about them. They cost about 3-4 times as much as a real taxi. Like a Grab, or they have a thing called Bolt that's similar to Grab or Uber. That's very cheap. I'm going to give you this example. You could take a Bolt, which is same as an Uber, and you can take it, I don't know, 25 miles, let's just say, for conversation, for $3. Now, in America, it's $30 or $35. And you gotta wait 45 minutes for them to get there and pick you up. In Asia, you just go online, you put in where you're going, and they automatically GPS and they pick you up at your doorstep in 2 minutes and take you to your destination, and it's $3. 25 miles. If you only go, say, like 4 or 5 miles, it's less than around $1, $1. If you're 4 or 5 miles, like you want to go in Bangkok, say, somewhere you want to go to, let's say you want to go to the market, the Asian market, the night market or something like that, and it's 4 or 5 miles from where you're staying. You could take that Bolt slash Uber for $1. $1. And you're driving in a modern car. Now, they don't tell you this, but I'll tell you. The cars, many, many, many of them, are from China. And they're electric, similar to a Tesla. And they're nice, and the quality's good. It isn't like the old cheap Chinese junk that breaks in America. But America got everybody fooled because they say, oh, they're not safe. They don't pass the safety standard tests, so we can't have them in America, blah, blah, blah. Well, that's BS, let me tell you, because those cars are incredible. I think the name of them is like BYD. Maybe that seems to ring a bell. And they're modern. Oh, they're so good. And they are just as good as, And then MG. MG makes them. And they're cheap. Let me tell you how much you pay for one. You can buy a brand new, I'm trying to think of what brand. I'm not sure what the brand is, but it's a good one. But you can buy a brand new car that would be similar to like a, small compact Honda or something like that, Civic or something similar, but not a Honda Civic, but whatever the brand is, I can't think of it right now. But it's a good car. 12,000 American dollars. Can you buy can you buy any car in America for $12,000 brand new? No. Can you buy any car? Well, maybe you could buy a Hyundai for 20. Maybe. I'm not even sure about that, to be honest. But they're cheaper. They're cheaper here. And there's a lot of them Chinese cars here. They don't make no bones about it. And there ain't nothing wrong with them. Yeah, I've seen that before. Yeah, I've seen that before. And and look, it's kind of funny because they have Suzuki makes these little vans in the Philippines. And my friend has one, and it's cool. It's cool. And he bought that thing. It was brand new, but not brand new. In other words, the year wasn't brand new, but the van was brand new. It's kind of like I don't know, they get all the parts or something, then they build it and put it together or whatever the case is. But he paid $4,500 for it. And it's cute. And it works. And he's had it for, I would say, 3 years. I'd say for 3 years. Yeah, the guitar case is doing the talking there, bird. Well, I moved to Thailand because I wanted to go to Asia and I wanted to stretch my money. And your money goes 5 to 10 times farther in Thailand. And the people are nicer. It's a happy place. I'll give you an example. In Bangkok, Thailand, there's 11 million people. That's the population, or thereabouts. In New York City, there's about 8 million. And there's no comparison to the two cities. But there's hustle and bustle in Bangkok. They have skyscrapers going to bed. They have a mass transit system that's second to none. It blows the covers off New York City's transit system. They have electric trains, they have overhead trains, sky trains, subways, They have about 6 or 7 different ones. You can go anywhere in Bangkok through that mass transit train system, and you can go for $1. And it's clean. There's no graffiti, there's no crime. All the people are polite, they're nice, they're helpful. All the stations are clean. I mean, it's like night and day, dude. Now, I'll go you a couple steps further. I have a couple of friends that moved to Asia 5, 6 years ago. I have 3 of them. And they've all told me for years. And I finally got the courage, I guess you could call it, because most people don't have the courage. It takes a little bit of courage. That's about you spend about 25 hours on an airplane, and the time difference is like 12 hours. And so by the time you make that trip, you're worn out. But you're happy you did it. You're glad you did it. Depends on where you go. Like Thailand is real modern. Some places in the Philippines is real modern, but if you go to some remote areas or some rural areas or some remote islands and stuff like that, it's kind of like going back in time. It's like going back and living in the 1970s, which is pretty cool if you want to know the truth. I'll give you an example. When I was a kid, I remember what eggs tasted like, and when you cooked eggs, what they were like in America. And that's the way the eggs are here now. But they're not like that in America anymore. They're completely different. I wonder why. Yeah, eggs ain't like they used to be in America, but they are here. You can eat a full-blown meal here, believe it or not, but you can eat a full-blown meal here for $1. And I've done it many times. Good. Pork leg, rice, vegetable, boiled egg. Not a great big serving, but it's enough to, you're not bloated. You're not going to get fat and gorged and stuff your face would in America because that's what you want. But it's what you need, and it's $1. And that's a fact. I'm not joking. And there's many different plates. I just named one. But there's many, many different ones that you can eat that way. And that's from a good, clean, reputable place. That's not from a cart that comes off the street. Yeah, it's true about the eggs, dude. I'm not. And the chicken. Let me tell you about the chicken. The chicken is so good here, you wouldn't even believe it. But it ain't big and it ain't fat. You buy a chicken breast here, it's just a regular chicken breast. It ain't no big Arnold Schwarzenegger looking chicken breast. But it's good. Man, they know how to make fried chicken here. Going to bed. And it's not pumped up with all the antibiotics. It ain't pumped up with any kind of whatever the hell they're pumping them up with in America. Steroids or hormones or whatever the hell they're putting in all that chicken over there. They don't do that here. And you can tell by looking at the chickens. They're scrawny. They're not big and fat and bulky and crazy, but they're good. You might need to eat 2 pieces instead of 1, but they cost 50 cents for a piece of fried chicken. Yeah, you're right about that Hulk Hogan chicken. Listen, I remember buying chicken breasts in America that, when I was a kid, they weren't like that. But now they're like that. It's like, holy Christmas. How in the world is that chicken breast so big? Yeah, it's crazy. Well, they do it because it makes money. That's the whole, greed of the American people, I guess, industry or whatever. It's all about the money. Here, let me just tell you, they go out back and grab the chicken and pluck it. And they've been feeding that chicken out there running around for however long until they grab it and pluck it and process, you know, through their process of whatever they do in order to fry it up nice and crispy for you. Uh, and it's all organic. And it's naturally organic. It's not like you say, got to pay a premium. It's not like you say, oh, I don't want the hormones and I don't want the this and the that, so I'll pay double for, to have the right kind, like you have to do in America. They're all the right kind in Asia. And they're good, dude, I'm telling you. And here's another one. Now, China may be a little bit different, but I know Thailand, you don't get all the pesticides all over your fruits and vegetables. Not like America. Maybe that's why they're so good. They're so tasty. They're so strong. They're so bold. The fruit is so bold, and even the vegetables. They're just much more tasty here. But, I mean, it's one thing after another. A taxi cab ride costs $1 or two or three versus 30. A hotel costs $15 versus 150 or 200. Uh, a condominium on the beach or the ocean costs 250 or 300, 350 maybe for a great one instead of 4 or 5 thousand a month. I mean, that's all fact. I'm not joking. That's all fact. I'm living it. I've been there, I've done it, I've seen it, I'm in it. And that's why I'm staying. I'm not coming back to that mess over there. You can't even barely rent a room in somebody's house, a bedroom in somebody's house in a bad neighborhood for $1,000 a month. Imagine that. And you can rent an entire condo, private, on a 24th floor, overlooking the ocean, and a 5-star condo pool and a gym, and beautiful lobby, building, parking, 24-hour security, juristic office, 7-Eleven right at the bottom base of where you walk down, come down, there's 7-Eleven right at the entranceway to your building for $275 a month. No joke. How can you overlook that? You can't. I can tell you. You can live here, and this is realistic. I know some people lie. Some people, talk a lot of BS. But you could live here in Thailand or in Asia in the Philippines for $1,500 a month, and you can live good. And you can live with a family. I know a guy that lives on $1,650 a month with a wife and 4 kids. How about that? And he's an American dude. Yeah. He's my friend from America. He's been here for he's in the Philippines for 6 years. And he lives on $1,650 a month with a wife and 4 kids. Now, he's not living like a king, but he's not impoverished, you know. In order to be impoverished, you'd be living on about 400 or 500 a month. You could actually live on that if you wanted to live like some of the local people, but Westerners, they can't live like that. I can't. But 1,500 a month, you live good. 2,000 a month, you live great. 3,000 or more a month, you live super. Super, super, super. You're rich. Yeah. But I like to be, conservative, and I do things in moderation. I do everything I want to do. I just don't want to do a lot. I mean, I don't buy a lot of stuff. I don't, I'm not a spendthrift. I've always been reasonably conservative. But I still get what I want. I just don't want a lot. But I do it reasonably in comparison. And I travel even. Traveling is a little bit more expensive because you got to pay for, airfare and train fare, and, hotel fare is not bad, but um, airfare. I flew from Bangkok, Thailand to Da Nang, Vietnam for $60. Then I stayed in a hotel for $15 a night, 1 block off the beach. Brand new, clean, beautiful place. $15 a night. Where's the last hotel you've seen in America for $15 a night? I'd like to know that. I mean, I remember when the Hampton Inn was $60 a night, and that was probably 25 years ago. Maybe more. And these hotels that I'm telling you for $15 a night are as good as they were then and better than they are now. Because now in America, they're funky. They're old, they're dirty, and they're funky. But now they have old, dirty, and funky here. You have to be selective. But I'm pretty selective in finding the reasonable ones that are newer and clean and don't have bugs, and they're just nice. Just like this place where I'm at now. I'm paying $25 a night, I think, here. But in Vietnam is cheaper. Vietnam is about 30% cheaper. I paid $15 a night, I'm telling you. And it ain't no hostel. It's a full-blown hotel room, including free breakfast and free bottled water and free coffee is included in the price. How about that? And it's comfortable. Air conditioned, comfortable mattress, nice pillows, clean sheets. Yeah. They don't mess around here, man. Their customer service is second to none. And they do it all with a smile. You know, they're, they're happy to accommodate you here. Unlike some places in the West. And they have so much availability for food and for fruit and vegetable. They have so much. It's coming out of their ears. You know, their shelves are overflowing with good groceries. Everything you want. You pay up for the imported stuff, And, you know, the stuff that's made locally is cheap. I'll give you a good example. They have like a meal at the 7-Eleven that they'll heat up for you. And it's like a little TV dinner type meal that's really good, but it's usually Asian type food. I mean, they have some American ones, but they're not the greatest because, you know, they're wannabe Americans because it's not imported. That's why it's still, but it's not that good. But the Asian ones are good because it's made by the Asians. And I'm telling you, dude, they're $1. $1. 50 cents in some cases. I'm trying to think, I bought a Caesar salad, a chicken Caesar salad for $1.50. And it was incredible. Chicken breasts, croutons, Parmesan cheese, the dressing, the romaine lettuce, everything, and enough for you to eat for dinner. Go try that in America. Tell me how much it costs you. Good, fresh quality too. Yeah, yeah, yeah. Well, fellas, ladies, gentlemen, whoever's here, I guess I'm gonna have to call it a day. We'll come back and do another session another time. Today we're gonna wrap this up. I'm gonna let that guitar go to sleep. And tomorrow will be a new day. I'm thinking about taking my guitar tomorrow down to the waterside and sitting on the seawall and jamming. Yeah, I did that before. I enjoyed it. I had a lot of people come around and watch. They all enjoyed it. I think maybe tomorrow, if it doesn't rain, if it doesn't rain tomorrow, I might do that. And here's the thing. You know, I drive a scooter, a 125 Honda scooter, automatic transmission, brand new, 2024 or 5, whichever it is. And this one's a little bit more expensive than most. Most of them cost about $100 a month to rent. And I'm paying $130, I think, for this one. But, man, you just jump on that scooter and go anywhere. I went, I don't know, 3-4 hours away the other day, just on a scenic ride all around the coast. Got a little bit sunburned on my hands, so I bought me some gloves to stop that. But I went about 3 hours out and 3 hours back, about 6 hours. And I had a blast. I think I burnt $2 worth of fuel. Maybe 3. It was an all-day affair. And it was fun. But I use it for transportation. Like When I go to play the guitar down on the seawall, I'll put the guitar on my back like a backpack, and then I'll just get on the scooter and buzz right down there. I park the scooter, and then I got my guitar with me. Fun time. Okay, I think okey dokey. I think we're gonna wrap this up now. We'll talk to you guys later, okay? If anybody has anything to say it now or hold it. 'Cause we're gonna sign off. Okay? I'll give you a minute if you want to say something. Say your goodbyes. You want to ask a last question. I don't know what you want to do, but Mr. Fender over there got to go to sleep. And I'm going to be right behind him. So he better not put on his brakes. But wish we could get more people on these live streams. I don't know why we're not. I mean, I guess it's not as interesting as it should be. And that's my fault. That's okay. Soon they're going to be interesting. You know, once I get up and running really good, you know, I'm going to shift gears. And I have a couple of friends that do some podcasts that are very, very popular. So I think I'm going to go do a podcast and, you know, plug my channel, and, you know, maybe that's when I'll start improving my content. And I think that'll give me a boost, maybe push me over the edge for getting monetized. I'm getting close now. Yeah, I'm getting close. I've only been doing it for a couple of months. I think I can get monetized in maybe one more month, which will be good. But it is what it is, what it is. You guys want me to stay on, or you want to go now? Tell me in the comments. Should I stay or should I go? Which one? Yes or no? I can't hear you. Well, I guess I'll take no answer as a you should go. If you want me to stay, type stay in the comment. If you want me to go, type go in the comment. And if you don't type anything in the comment, go. Because I'm tired. But I'll stay if you want me to stay. I'll talk about something. Talk about my motorbike. My motorbike's nice, man. It's fast. It's easy on fuel. It's very easy to drive. It's easy to maneuver. It gets through the traffic like nobody's business. Got a lot of pickup. Brakes are good. Stops on a dime, gives you 9 cents change. Easy to park. It all locks up. It has storage. Can't beat it. You know, I wouldn't rent. If I stayed still and signed a lease on like a condo for 275, one of them $4,000 a month condos, I'd buy a scooter. And I'd buy a little bit bigger one because, believe it or not, the 160, I think it's a 155 or 160 or both or whatever. I've rented them before, and they're much more comfortable. They're faster, but they're a better ride.